Hello, I am so happy you're here. In today's video, we are mixing things up. I got asked incredible questions in my Reinvent Your Body event. And so if you are sitting here and you're wanting to take your body to the next level, if you've been struggling to hit your weight loss, health, and wellness goals, I'm going to be answering all of the questions, spilling all the tea. I have 2 pages here of Q&A that I got asked on my last Reinvent Your Body event here on YouTube, and I want to make sure that I answer everybody's questions. So if you didn't get to that, this video is going to give you, first off, we all know this, when anybody asks a personal question, we always find our own truth within that, and often we're so grateful when somebody else asks a question because we end up getting answers that we really need. So again, I'm just going to say, if you have been struggling with your weight, your health, following through on personal goals to you, these questions really are about health, wellness, mindset. Everything that we do here is holistic, mind, body, soul, spirit. And so I'm going to really give you all my 20 years of expertise being a holistic nutritionist, my background in fitness, specializing in reprogramming the mind, working with thousands of women around the world for 20 years, having my own personal struggles, my own spiritual awakening, and being a body intuitive and a world-renowned intuitive. I'm going to be tying all of that in to the answers in this Q&A today. So definitely stay here. All of the questions will be identified in the chapters below. So let's just dive in. One of the questions that I got was, and this is from Jan, why is it so hard for me to sit and get in touch with deep feelings? So Jan, you are not alone in this at all. Getting in touch with our feelings our culture is set up for as much distraction from getting in touch with yourself as possible. Just open up your phone, open up anything these days, and it is all different ways to get you to, and social media apps are actually set up to keep you on the app, to make them addictive. So you are not alone. The majority of people have a hard time actually being with themselves and their feelings. So what I want to tell you with that is start slow, be kind to yourself, get a journal. There is power in your pen. It is scientifically proven. And just sit down with yourself and start asking yourself questions. We have I have an entire section of journal prompts in Limitless Academy. And I can tell you, Jan, if you want that or anybody else, just put journal prompts below and I will send you a link to journal prompts that I send out to my community. Also, if you follow me on social, I always share different journal prompts to help you to connect in with yourself. I find the best times to connect are first thing in the morning and right before bed, and just ask yourself simple questions like, what am I sad about today? What am I angry about? What am I happy about? Why am I proud of me? Who have I been, withholding forgiveness from? There's a whole slew of questions, but sitting with ourselves, often our ego will distract us because your comfort level is not to sit with yourself. There's a great book by Gay Hendricks called The Big Leap, and it talks about how we have a higher threshold for pain than we do for happiness. And going within with yourself means that you're actually having to disrupt a comfort level that you have of staying numbed out, disconnected. And more times than not, when we numb out and disconnect, we love to turn on the TV, we love to grab food, especially if you struggle with your weight. Food is a beautiful way to distract you. And often many dieters, those with disordered eating, will eat to avoid taking action as a form of procrastination. They will eat from anxiety. They will eat to numb out. And then they eat so much that they feel numb and are disconnected from any feelings of discord within the body. So the more that you actually sit with yourself and you get aware of that pattern, the more you can disrupt the pattern and come home to yourself. And all that the food and the wanting to stay numbed out is doing is it's perpetuating a disconnection from you with you. And as long as you do that, then you will stay in separation, i.e., you will not be connected to source energy or faith. And so in order to get on the other side of struggles with our body, our health, struggles with our own self-worth, your worth is directly tied to your weight, what you believe you're deserving and worthy of having, right? In order to get to the other side of that, we must connect into faith. And if we aren't, then that means we have given our power to food, to numbing out, to television, to all of these different sources. And that's what will end up guiding you. So this is why I have courses like my Love Your Body, Lose the Weight program. I'll put that below. That's our globally recognized program for getting women out of dieting and truly healing their relationship with themselves and their body. That's what I did. And it was, that was the program that I did that completely changed everything for me. And then that's what I taught for over 10 years. And so I will make sure to link that below. I also have tons of playlists and different things here. If you're not, in a space to make an investment, but, really look within yourself, know that there's nothing wrong with you. And just even asking this question means that your soul is desiring a deeper connection. So start to lean into that, or just go all in, baby, and let your soul lead the way. Maintaining an active lifestyle as you age and as a senior. I love this question, Carrie. And Carrie is in our Limitless Academy. She is 75 and she just posted a picture of J-Lo and she's like, this is the body that I'm getting. And I'm like, yes, you are, girl. Yes, you are. And I love her energy and her vibrancy and her love for life. Maintaining an active lifestyle as a senior. There was an amazing documentary on Netflix called The Blue Zone. And it went around the world. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely watch it. And it talked about how in all of these other cultures, in particular, Japan, Italy, the men and women are living into their hundreds and they're squatting and they're not sitting in lazy boys and they're not getting on elevators and they're not just waiting for their own deterioration, which is something that we perpetuate in the United States. We've put these markers on: by this age you should have retired, and by this age expect that your body will decline, and by this age you should have your retirement and an elderly home set up, and we actually plan for our body to fall apart, which I find bizarre, because it's scientifically proven that our body can live well into the hundreds. It's our mind that degrades the body. So knowing that, then the question is, well, why am I planning then for my life to fall apart? Why am I planning to retire, i.e. the word tire is in retire. I understand if you just hated your job but nowadays, we can all do things that we love. And so, I don't want to act like everybody and anybody, but that's a choice that anybody can make to pursue a passion that lights them up. And we can change. I teach a program called Reinvention, supporting women in transition to give permission, go and completely change your career, go do something else, start to move anywhere. We do not, it is gone are the days of the 19th and we die at this age and you have to stay with this person and you have to be at this career for 20 years to build your resume. That is just not the world we're living in. So to answer, maintaining an active lifestyle is 1, it starts with your mind. 2, start to look to Europe, look to Japan, look to other countries and how you see elders and what they're doing there, because they're walking all day, they're walking up and down hills, they're planting, they're gardening, they are surrounded by friends and family, they're not sitting by themselves, they stay avid readers and they stay avidly engaged in life and excited by passion. So plan trips, surround yourself with people, constantly be learning and doing new things. Train your body, work on mobility and flexibility. I train functionally. I had my mom doing the same thing. She ended up passing of Alzheimer's, but we were really working, because when you are balancing on one leg and lifting a weight and having to think of different steps and movements all at the same time, you're priming your mind. And so these are other ways that we stay young. And then you stay young, again, your mindset. Don't get caught in an age. It's just a number. Live vibrantly, eat whole foods, take proper supplementation, stay on top of doctor's visits. Do not tell stories or get caught in, oh, my back, or like, and the one that I see a lot with seniors that I really work on that mindset with, especially here when I'm volunteering, is, guys, it's not normal to just have a pain and be like, oh, that's just, I've always had that. No, you didn't always have that. That's a sign that something is wrong. Be on top of it and look into it. And also the last thing that I will say is don't get caught up in diagnosis that are diminishing your way of life. Oh, well, that just happens at my age, or, oh, it's so hard getting older, and the lingo and everything around that. Your body will respond to you. Stay active, stay limber, flexible, go to yoga, go into saunas, be by the beach, be in nature, all the same things I would say to anybody, but it's a state of mind. Absolutely. Okay. The next question, how did you find your way to change? So this is Jennifer. How did you find your way to change what you learned about faith and trust that love would lead your way? Ooh, I wish I could ask you to dive deeper into this. So for those of you who don't know, I was raised Catholic. I went to all girls private Catholic school for 12 years. And I do believe in God, but I realized that I grew up really fearing God. I remember I was told that like God's within you, or you are God's. Like I heard that I was living in New York at the time, and I was like, wait, I'm what? And I was like, that's blasphemous. I was like, I am not God. God's a man up in the sky with the white. No. I was like, I'm not God. And I was like, that just does not sit well with me, and it really bumped up around my religious beliefs. But I found myself at a place feeling very lost and confused. Religion wasn't really serving me. It felt, I believed in it. I understood it, but it was more of fear-based. Like I was raised this way, I should go. Catholic guilt is a real thing, especially if you come from an Italian Irish household. It is no joke. And I found myself going, okay, faith is important to me, but what is my relationship with God? I believed that if I did something wrong, that it would come back and I would get in, that somehow if I lied, something bad was going to happen to me. And it was that. So in this question, how did I find my way and change what I learned about faith? I actually sat there and said, if I wasn't born Catholic, would I be? Why I'm devoting so much of my life? What would I believe in? And I had a lot of Jewish friends, and I thought the Jewish faith was so beautiful. I went to synagogue. Kabbalah, I started learning about that. I was in New York. Madonna, that was her thing. And at the time, I moved to New York, and I was like, I'm going to go to the Center for Kabbalah. I just started getting more spiritual, but I still very much resonated with God. And it was beautiful. And what I found was, I said, I do believe in God, and faith is very important to me. And this is what I want it to look like and feel like, and this is how it would serve me. And I really looked at my relationship with God, and I had a very clearing, beautiful, prayer-filled conversation with God, and what I didn't understand, and why I was angry about certain things, and that felt that was liberating, and also am I angry with God? Honestly, growing up, that felt wrong. I was like, what? And so that was very powerful. And that's actually what grounded me in fully healing my relationship with food and my body, because I was in such a painful state of isolation and making myself feel really wrong and disconnected from faith, and feeling like I was enough and that I was loved for just being me, and repairing that relationship and connecting in and getting so grounded in that and literally surrendering everything. That was a huge turning point for me. And then it has continued to grow. Then I had a spiritual awakening. God when I killed myself of cancer, that was, God came in and I heard, you're healed, you're healthy. And I was like, I am. And 8 weeks later, they couldn't find it. And I followed and I said, show me the way. And I got a very clear protocol of what to do. And I did it. And that was that. And that was in 2019. And that's that on the cancer journey. So letting love lead the way is a continual choice to answer that too. I always say there's only 2 human emotions, love and fear. And so you're either going to lead from love. And a question that I always tell the women in my community is always ask yourself, what would love do? And when you ask what would love do, I promise you'll always make the right choice. And you'll be brought back to what's right and true. And that will always serve you, I promise. All right, next question. This is from Nadia. How do you stick to your body and health commitments when sad circumstances happen? Well, girl, I lost my mom a few days before Christmas, and that was our holiday. So that just happened, a few months ago. And it's similar to, I'll never forget, I was dating someone who was widowed, and he said to me that he was in a kind of like a grief group, and he said some people just said that they found themselves wanting to turn their back on their faith. And he said, in that moment, I said, faith is all that I have. Like if I turn my back on faith, like I will fall apart and have nothing, because he was so crushed, because it was very sudden. And that's how I feel about taking care of me and my relationship to myself. It is the cornerstone of everything, because I love myself so much. And this body, this vessel, this is what carries me. And it's always there for me. When I've deprived it, when I've treated it like crap, when I push it to do workouts, when it's exhausted, when I've dieted, forever. And when hard things happen, one, I have the identity of somebody that's healthy and fit. That's why I go so strong with identity. So even though I was in a boot for like 4 months this past year, and my weight didn't change, it didn't hinder anything, I still went to the gym. I wasn't there as long, and I was hobbling around with boot, but it's a part of who I be. And I know that having that as a part of who I be is a cornerstone. I keep using that word. I keep hearing that word. It's my lever. I teach about levers. Like, what's a lever that propels you higher? So for me, Nadia, I know that those commitments are, if I don't keep them to myself, then I'm going to spiral in a bad way. So taking care of me aligns me. It connects me to source energy. It gets me out of stressful states. It gets me out of the grief, and it gets me back connected to my body, and it raises serotonin levels. There's so much here in that way, and dopamine. So when you know that there's things that are hard in life, then we get to look at, well, what can I actually do that's going to make me feel better? And we all know this. Just eating more, you don't feel better, unless you're like really hungry. You don't feel better. Then you go into remorse and regret. Just sitting inside by yourself in the dark, it doesn't help. So we have to look at, what will this vessel, this being need, so that I can be my best in this situation for myself and for everybody else. I always teach that momentum creates more momentum. So when we're sad, if you stay in stuckness and sadness, and of course there's a moment of grief or sad, it's only going to perpetuate more of the same. So in order to actually have a different experience and to bring more joy, more lightness, more laughter, more happiness, more positivity, a different perspective, a release, right? Then we actually want to shift our energy. And that comes immediately through moving the body, through making positive and healthier choices to support you. As I said, I'm going to reach for my water. Okay. these questions. Do you see how these questions were so good? I was like, I can't just do just one video, just answering one. So Jamie asked, how do I treat myself better? I was just sharing. I also, guys, I am running my Next Level You Challenge November. It's not November. June 16th. Join in this Next Level You Challenge. I'm going to be spilling all the tea on my favorite workouts, beauty secrets, recipes, juices, morning routines, evening routines, things to reprogram your mind to feel and look amazing. And essentially, if you've been needing that reset or recharge, we want to realign, this is the challenge for you. And this is for the women that are ready to go higher, that are done not taking care of themselves, not prioritizing themselves. They're done diminishing their voice, people pleasing, just being nice. This is the time. And you might be going, we're going to do all that? Yeah, because we're going to be together every day for 30 days. So I've got a lot of stuff to say. I mean, like I said, I'm a master life coach. I've been doing this for 20 years. I got a lot of tips and tricks. But before that, I was in the fashion industry, and I love DIY, and I love beauty and all things hair, and I'm all about anti-aging, and I want to share, I'm no gatekeeping here. I want to share all the things that I do. And they're fun, and who doesn't want to feel and look better, right? And you've got to reprogram your mind so that it sticks with your identity. This is not, and it's not a weight loss challenge. Yes, you could release weight by listening to the things that I'm going to share, by all means, but this is about you shifting into your next level. And for those of you with the body, yes, come in with a goal. But I also want to really preface, if you're like, well, I already feel good, great, well, let's go higher. This is about you showing up, being seen, taking up space, and going to your next level with you. Getting back to taking care of yourself, looking good, how to dress, like all the things we want to get. We gotta up level. You know what I'm saying? And we could do that together. I'll put a link below. It's called my Next Level You Challenge. If you are in, I'm in. I want to meet you, girl. I want to meet you. All right. Ooh. You know what? There's so many questions. Where I'm gonna. Okay. Practices to reconnect with my body's communication is one of my favorite things to teach. My faves. Because it's the answer to everything. You give me a woman who feels good in her body and she's unstoppable and she'll go for her dreams. And when you are fully connected to your body, you trust your intuition, your body will tell you what supplements, what foods, how to move. It will guide you on everything. And when you are connected into that, it is amazing. So first and foremost, what I say to do to reconnect to your body's communication is you actually have to sit in stillness with you and start to listen to what your body's guiding you to. So starting to pay attention. So first thing in the morning, get in a dialogue with your body. Put your hand on your heart, your hand on your womb. Women, especially after they've had children or if they have gained weight or they're perimenopause, menopause or whatnot, they stop looking at their belly in particular. They stop loving their belly. They see only like fat and put and this and that. So we want to look at your connection with you. So connecting in with your body first thing and saying, I love you. I'm so grateful for you. And ask body, what do you want me to know today? What do you want me to know today? What message do you have for me? If there's a pain on your body, start looking, like say you have a knee pain and you're going to close your eyes and you're going to place your hand on your knee so that you can recognize your body's like, your hands are healing hands. Remember, just like Reiki healers or energy healers, our own hands can heal ourselves, right? We're portals of divinity. So we place our hands and you ask, what color is that pain? And you'll get a color, and that's your higher self, your body or your soul is giving you a color, and then look up that color because that color is going to tell you what's going on. So you'll see different chakra colors, green, red, magenta, blah, blah, and look at what that color means in terms of like medically or spiritually, and you'll get it. And you're going to put your hand there, and then you're going to notice the color, ask what color it is, and say pain, knee pain. What message do you have for me? What do you need me to know? There's a beautiful book by one of my very first mentors, Louise Hay, called You Can Heal, oh my gosh, You Can Heal Your Body, Heal Your Life. Somebody correct me here and tell me below. Heal Your Body, Heal Your Life. And she has like an index in there of knee pain and what it means metaphysically. And it's really, really fascinating. You can even Google this, ask ChatGPT, and it will tell you. And that will also give you the metaphysical understanding of where the pain came in the body. Because remember, all dis-ease is dis-ease in the body. It all started with a thought. And that thought gets perpetuated. Unexpressed emotions create pain and different inflammation in the body. And so that's why I'm so passionate about really understanding how to connect in and how you truly can heal your body. I have multiple times in different things. I used the example of cancer earlier. Lifelong asthma. I can SIBO, H. pylori. I can go on here. So that's where you want to start with connecting the body. Guys, if you want me to do just a video on how to communicate with your body and how to hear your body, I also tie that in with teaching my clients how to be more intuitive and how to eat to be more intuitive, because all of that connects into what we're getting. But if you want me to do just a video on that, let me know, because I could say a lot more here. But that's a beautiful way to start a dialogue. There's questions around starting a business. I will do, if you guys want more on that, I could do a separate video on that. I feel like this one's more like around wellness. So Gina, I will go into that. I will do that for you. Girl, are you in Limitless? If you're in Limitless, I can tell you how to start your business in there. If this is the Gina, I think it is. Okay. What makes me happiest? God, feeling alive, living my life, makes me happiest. Helping others, being surrounded by loved ones, laughing a lot. Anytime I get to express, right? Act, move, like any form of expression and creation brings me so much joy. And then obviously being outside, beach, and traveling, but yeah, I get really lit up by life, and very passionate about seeing people just living their best life and getting to help people do that. It really does brought me so much joy in my life. I want to answer this one. This is really big. So, how do I live my life without thinking about food all the time? So Kaylee, it's the only thing ever on my mind, and it consumes me. I would love to be free from it and live a happier, more fulfilled life. So when we live life and we're thinking about food all the time, that's when we're really caught in food thoughts. I don't like to use labels like food addiction and blah, blah, blah. But there is the difference between the person that fixates on food and another person that just never even thinks about food and forgets to eat, right? It's different brain chemistry because, and I shared this, I did a separate video talking about trauma bonding to food, and that often in psychology we talk about trauma bonding to a person. But I believe that food, and I teach that food takes on human form and human connection. And that the reason the average woman, right, has an issue with her weight. I mean, what was the most recent study that 98% of women, I'm sure it's going to change with all the GLP-1s and blah, blah, blah. But as of before, it was 98% of women. First off, 98% of dieters gained the weight back, 98%. Okay. And the statistic around women was, I believe, it was 2 years ago, that it was 98 or 97% of women have dieted. And so what I will tell you that I have found after working with thousands, and especially with my own over 2 decade, I would say close to 20-year struggle with disordered eating and whatnot, was this trauma bonding to food. And what happens is, if food takes on human form and connection, then why would you, it's not as simple as just don't eat that and why can't you stick to your diet? It's, it's uncomfortable because food has always been there for you. It's your best friend, it's your lover, it's there when you've had a hard day. It never talks back, it doesn't judge you. And you can get it at any flavor and any amount. You can have it any time of day. It's never says no, right? It's easy, it's accessible, right? So it's like you have this thing that's just always there, and it was there for you, and you trauma bonded to food at an early age to create safety as a way to not have to feel the overwhelming emotions of whatever was going on around you. And so then food became the go-to, and your mind is set up for survival. Your mind's going, hey, this is overwhelming our system. Our nervous system is wrought right now. There's too much. Give her a distraction. Tell her she's hungry. The last time we had food, it brought, happiness, joy, it was fun. Tell her she's hungry. And then you went and ended up eating, and then the food made you feel better. And then you got a program that when you're uncomfortable, when something sad happens, when something scary happens, when you felt unsafe in your body, go and eat. And then as an adult, it's like, well, I want to stop eating. And it's like, well, it's not that easy. You have an internal program wired in your nervous system to go and eat when you feel unsafe. And safety is the number one thing that we need as humans, especially as women. So if you are programmed in your nervous system to respond to life when you're uncomfortable, when you feel sad, when you feel mad, when you feel not seen, when you feel judged, when you feel whatever, to then move and go and eat something in response, then you could lose weight and do that, but you will gain it back. And you will always be thinking about food, because when we are constantly always thinking about food, what it means is we're disconnected from our body and we're uncomfortable in what is going on around us. And we're actually not being authentically true to ourselves. We are suppressed, not self-expressed, right? Fully suppressed, diminishing our self-worth, playing small, and we're dishonoring ourselves. And it's something we learned to do earlier. And now as adults, you're sitting there and you're going, well, why can't I stop thinking about food all the time? Well, this is why. So what do? Well, we actually have to, one, regulate our nervous system to learn that it's safe. And then two, I always say, where there's lack, you will fill the gaps with food. We have to look at, where is the lack in your life? Where are you missing love? Where are you missing fun? Where are you missing expressing yourself? Where are you missing being out in the world and sharing more of you? Where are you missing community or feeling on purpose? And if it's a lot of those, then you'll see that food's serving a really big purpose. And if you take that away internally, you're going, well, but that's my source of all the things. So why I can't give it up. So of course you're going to be thinking about it all the time. So my invitation to you is start to focus on filling your life with more of you. And the fuller your life, the less you'll want the food. I also would highly encourage you to look at my Love Your Body, Lose the Weight program. Hands down, we take you through an actual step-by-step. It's full service process, and it works. And starting to look at asking yourself, what do I need outside of food? There's 4 key questions that I always say when you go to reach for food. Ask yourself, am I really hungry right now? What's going on in my life right now? Is food going to serve me or hurt me? Is food going to serve me right now? Is it going to help me or is it going to hurt me? And what do I need instead? Write those down, put them up. That's going to have you connect back into yourself in a whole new way, I promise you. All right, guys, I have so many other questions here. If you like this video and you want more like this Q&A and you want to ask me questions, and once a month I do one of these, definitely let me know. And I will see you in the next video. Join our Next Level You 30-day challenge starting on June 16th, completely free, created by me for you based off of high demand and request. I'm going to be spilling all the tea. And if you're ready to commit and go all in on you, and you really want to see changes, and you like me and my energy, and you want to be in community and or be coached directly by me, applications are now open for Reinvention. It's my trademarked Reinvention method, our most transformative program, 6 months. Become unrecognizable girl in the best of ways, or join Limitless Academy, our ongoing membership. You can cancel at any time. All incredible offers. And for those of you specifically needing support with your body, really check out Love Your Body, Lose the Weight. We would love to have you. And there's so many other resources here. I love you guys. I'm so grateful for you. Any questions, anything that you want to see from me, let me know in the comments below. I love you all. Have a beautiful and blessed night, day, weekend, whenever this finds you. Bye.